It is what it is. The moment that everyone has been waiting for.
Hurley.
We are talking about Sinners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you said like
That is what I
You
want.
have
That
a problem, bro.
I want that, man.
Wouldn't it be something if she said, "There's no more liquor in here. I'm just showing it off."
It's her going to grab her cup
Almost.
again. That's
I would definitely
crazy.
see that. I could definitely see
So, this amazing team of
Oh,
Ryan
wait, no, I am.
Coogler,
Wait.
Ludwig Göransson, Ruth Carter, Autumn.
that. Oh, Ruth
I want to
Carter
say
did that?
I'll get her name.
With a K. Kurt. Oh shit.
Eric Kapar or something like that,
Hold
because
on.
it's her married last name too. And the
Archibald?
entire cast, who did an amazing job behind the cameras, in front of the cameras. I didn't check the numbers for today, but I'm sure they're.
1 second.
But it did open up at 61 million,
Mm-hmm.
not 60. It was actually 61.
Mm.
They downplayed it. Try to say it was 45 million. I'm like, y'all not even ready yet. Y'all didn't get all the numbers in just yet. Turns out it was 61 million. Gave us a different type of horror genre that we're looking at now. Gave us another symbolic, very, very symbolic film in Sinners. We're gonna break it down. If you did not see this film, I have one thing to say to you.
Don't you put that on us!
Putting it all out. That was your story. You guys not seen it? Please come on. We're not spoiling every detail. Don't get it wrong. We will be diving into
Ooh, 71?
Yeah.
yeah,
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
Now.
Further, faster. Let's go.
71. There it is.
71 million.
Hey, look, the
So-
numbers are getting counted very slowly.
Yeah.
So yeah, 55 million domestically, 71 million worldwide.
So
No, it was more than 71. It was at 100 and something worldwide already.
yeah, it was like a 141
Refresh.
worldwide. What was
Yeah.
that? Saturday?
Yeah.
I think it was Saturday. It was like
The
141.
Yeah, it was 100 and something worldwide
My
like,
bad.
on the weekend.
170 million now worldwide. My bad.
Is it
Good,
open
good.
world? Is it open worldwide already? I thought it was just in the U.S. for now.
A few.
No,
a
it's
few.
definitely
No, there's a
worldwide.
few countries that have it.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Korea.
Tough to
Now
say.
you
gotta
Your
look.
milk tastes good. Ah.
Shout out to the Blurred Explorer for letting us know that
Yeah,
he won't
but-
see it until later. And I'm like, what?
He
Yeah,
said
well,
soon. I guess
That's a
it's like 2
summertime
months.
flick for y'all.
Korea.
Right.
Yeah,
I
which
think that was one. They said Korea won't see it till June. I'm like, to every anime fan in the U.S. right now pointing at Korea. Now you know how it feels.
Right.
yeah, which also reminds people it's not everywhere yet, so it'll be doing just fine if y'all can stop making me scroll for it when I go to look for tickets.
Shout out to Roomful of Blood for that one.
Hey, yo, AMC, I need to talk to you real quick.
Cinemark,
what happened?
Nah, Cinemark
happened?
is on that too. It's like if you go look up a movie ticket at any theater, it's like Sinners is at like the back of the catalog. So
I did not see that shit. That's
Yep.
Mhm.
AMC,
Hold on,
Cinemark,
I got you.
Fandango.
They
are
try to
all-
play
they are all
games.
wrong.
I don't
you
see
know
it.
damn well I can't.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't
AMC
see it.
wanted my
They
money.
did, they
Oh,
did
there
that
it
on purpose.
is. Right,
Look
right
at that.
there.
Stop for me.
Why
What's at the top? Like what movies are at the
nothing
top?
that came out this week?
Okay,
Yeah.
Nothing that
Very
came out
nice.
this week. Let me see if I can.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
King of Kings, that's
yeah,
over.
didn't
Minecraft?
Minecraft came out.
Minecraft,
No,
yeah.
you
Stop
see me.
it. Ain't nobody,
They still
Rami,
got the
I love
fucking
you,
mind.
baby.
Gladiator too.
Florence, I love you too. Ain't nobody going to see that.
Dang.
Well, those are decent movies. It's just they all
I didn't
came
say
out.
it wasn't that. It was
They all-
bad.
But
they
it's, how it's how they're designing it to where you have to search for it. That
Yeah.
just tells,
Yeah.
that just tells
They're
you a
making
lot
it seem
that-
like oh, it's not in the theaters. No, yes, it is.
And
It's
those
still
movies,
That's
those movies came
crazy.
out. Those movies all came out before Sinners, which is why it's weird that like they're at the top. Like the
Oh, it's not
amateurs are-
weird. It's not weird.
It's by
You know
design.
exactly what that is.
Yeah, but it's on
So-
purpose.
Let's start.
being real weird with your money. Y'all don't want to
Yeah.
make money. What's going on? I thought that
That's
was the
crazy.
thing.
They
So-
want to stick by the fact that an original black horror noir can't make money. They want so bad to make that a fact, and they are being proven wrong by the freaking day.
So
It's already
let's
made
break
money,
it
so
down.
don't even make
Yeah.
sense.
It
And
did.
now that the Academy has to watch all the movies, if it just loses,
Well, that's another story.
rule was-
That's a whole nother story. Let's break this movie down.
This shit ain't. is
Let's
weird.
start off right here.
Let me tell you,
That's a
I don't know if y'all heard my voice note, but I gotta give it to Michael. This the one time I'm gonna give it to this man.
Wait, me too.
He played
Oh.
he played the fuck out of these twins. And I
Mhm.
gotta say, it's the first time I was like, you know what, you look the fuck good, Michael. I said, okay, you know,
Speak on it.
he did his thing. Okay.
I will
They
say
did wonderful.
there's a scene where the brothers are sitting outside by the car,
Oh yeah.
and Stack is rolling up the cigarette,
That was
and
it.
Smoke is taking it. And I'm watching the Smoke. And normally, when you see these types of movies where an actor plays a dual role, you can see it.
The
You couldn't
line.
see it. You couldn't see it.
You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell the pass off. You couldn't tell from the shadows. You couldn't tell from the smoke.
No.
It was all put together.
That was in the very beginning. When I saw that, I immediately said, "Oh, this is a bad movie." I said, "No." Imagine passing it to yourself. You passing your own self a sick.
and then not miss a beat. And like you said, Shoko, the way they played off each other, you could tell, like, oh, these are two different people.
Yeah, he did great.
You
Can
did
we-
that.
Maybe I should save that to the end. I'll save it to the end.
He
No,
did-
no, you know.
I feel like half spoiler free. Not
What?
Try it again, Tafari.
are we doing like half spoiler free, half not? What are we
Yeah,
doing?
that's I was about to say.
Yeah, don't
You should've-
we're not doing the full dump.
Oh, that's
However,
crazy.
Bullshit.
I
will
You
be
should. You should
said.
put in on this.
I
You should
cannot
put in
be
on this.
I cannot be held liable for what I say. That's all
That
I'm gonna
part,
say.
like that's why I said it's not going to be a full on dump, but things will be said. Things.
Okay, so if you have on the headphones, just mute yourself when these two start talking. Like I don't know.
It's cool because there's two scenes that y'all.
You can mute
talk
me.
about.
Okay,
And-
so if just mute button
Talk about.
if you hear it from the top row in the balcony here, just go ahead and just volume down.
Hey,
I
you
wanna
had a
touch it.
weekend.
You
Yeah.
had a whole week. You had a week and a weekend.
And you knew that it was 100% by Rotten Tomatoes for like 2 weeks.
Look, I even went to go see it, and I actually did not have plans to see it. I didn't, and I took my ass to the theater.
And that
Y'all
is
She's
from
being
Marsha.
certified
That is from
hater.
Shoko.
She's
Y'all be
certified
like-
hater over there, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
This is
I'm
true.
not
Show
a
y'all
hater.
this is guaranteed. Show y'all don't like shit, y'all. So she's coming out saying she can't hold water.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So if even Shoyo saying she can't hold water, that tells you something.
Look,
So let's talk about some of these things now. Besides Michael B. Jordan, I almost said Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. Besides their acting, someone who I'm amazed has not gotten their flowers. Delroy Lindo.
Oh,
Right.
he's got his
Nah,
flowers
he-
everywhere.
he got his
he was-
flowers.
Everywhere.
Yeah, he was. I love
This,
him.
this man acts. He's been in things,
Multiple movies.
multiple
plays.
movies.
Mister.
Stop eating my sesame cake. I'm just saying, if you've seen Kako, you know.
Although the greatest role he ever did was on a news channel.
No, Mr. So say it. Then.
Say it.
So
Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
I did.
Say it. Go ahead and say it.
No,
I'm like
I
that.
know,
That seemed
it's
like
just you
that
wanna
seemed a
say
bit
it so
real.
bad,
That seemed a
I'll
bit
say it.
real.
If pull up was a person,
Nah, Mal, you got to flip that. Smoke was this chill one. Smoke
Yeah,
was
Smoke
smooth.
was the
Yeah,
level-headed
Smoke was the
one.
cognac on rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Smoke
Smoke
was the
was
level-headed
yeah.
one.
Sit down
Yeah.
for a spell with.
Smoke was very much Smoke was very much an example of back then even gangsters had decorum. Like
Yeah.
Wait, yes, Will.
Smoke was the level-headed one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke
Yeah.
was the one that was with
that was-
Wunmi.
If you look how they were acting
We
toward
consider that
like
the
with
level-headed
each other.
Yeah.
Smoke was the level-headed one.
Pause, chaos, because I know you're
like,
not serious.
like that whole
After
thing with
how
the
you
juke.
seen Stack act, you trying to say that Smoke wasn't the level-headed one? He took them in the room. He's the one that took them in the room.
Number one. Number two, he was about his business. He meant
Exactly.
the reason why you think he's not is because he meant what the fuck he said. Don't touch my shit. Let honk on the horn and let me know. And they kept doing what they was doing. Oh, you mean it? Bet. Got you.
And,
Done.
and not only that, he actually helped to heal them because he gave those people some money. Stack would have never.
That's
what them and been like, get your shit and
He would have hit him in the dome. What you mean?
That's
A
what
wound in the ass and the knee? You got a limp when you get back. He was giving them a fair shot. Shit.
We're not saying they both ruthless. Not ruthless. It's just Smoke was a little more reserved with his ruthlessness. He was just like, I said what I like, Lady Man.
But Smoke also had his things, and you could see it. He had his triggers and everything, and it was shown all through the movie. But he definitely
kept more control for it.
He had discipline in ways that obviously Stack did not. But he also had his triggers where it could, which is the reason, like the scene we just talked about. Stack has smoked the thing because he couldn't wrap it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that in the end.
Like Smoke was Stack was the one that always rolled the cigarette. Smoke couldn't do it.
What do you got? What do you got?
You know what it is, guys? Baltimore is no longer on the deadliest cities list.
Oh my God, you're so ridiculous.
I've been exonerated of this violence of which you speak.
You're so ridiculous. You only been out here for 2 seconds. Now you want to switch up. That's crazy.
Sure. No problem.
I hope your taxes go up. It's lovely.
Oh, who killed the snake? Smoke is the one.
It was Smoke.
Stacks.
I still appreciate what a tag team effort that was.
Yeah.
It was very obvious.
Yeah.
Because he sat up there, he unsheathed it, and he just said, "Whoop."
That entire sequence, when you think about it, who unsheathed it, who passed the torch, and then who used the torch, was the whole thing.
Now we're gonna get into this one. Jack O'Connell playing Remick.
Hey, I don't know who that man is, but he definitely did his part. Okay,
he did.
He was singing.
I'll be dead. Yes, he was. Number one, he was singing. Number two, that was him doing the Irish river dance. That was him doing that because he's done that before. He's done an interview where he said that he's done that. He did it 20 years ago. He learned how to do that.
That high leg kick he did at the camera.
Yeah. But his introduction into the scene where he goes to the clan member's house and the Native American vampire hunters come there. The physical embodiment of
I told you once.
Right. They said, let me get out of here, bro. No, because literally right after that, and I know a lot of people mentioned some things about that scene. And I was like, that's so interesting. But yeah, I mean, they had every right to go to fuck home.
Yeah, it was just like they sat up there, they said what they had to say. Old boy peeked in there, seen that hood and that gown. He was like, and his boy said, "Hey, the sun is setting. We got to go."
Exactly. He said, "We gotta go." Old boy didn't say, "Hey, but we need to save them." He said, "Hey, y'all have a good night."
And God bless you. And we out.
He got on the horse, twist around, and then left.
No,
that's what I was trying to remember. The skedaddler. That man that does those videos. There's a Jamaican man that does videos about Irish dancing, and he'd be like, "They're skedaddling." He's like, "These are the amazing skedaddlers."
I know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
No,
I did not.
That's why I'm laughing so hard because he does say whimsical skedaddler, and I lost it.
No, because all the posts about the movie, they were like, all I could think is seeing the Jason, whatever his name is, Jack, when he was doing his thing, all I could think of was the Jamaican man and skedaddler, and I was like, that was me in
The accent didn't help it either at all. He says, "Oh, look at them, the whimsical skedaddler." I'm like, "Oh God, no."
No, because his commentary is too much. He was like, "Oh, this skedaddling."
Oh, okay.
That guy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
That's him. That's the one. Oh my God. So, but no, it's I'm not gonna lie. Remick was spitting a good game
Mm-hmm.
because first off, when the juke joint opens and they come up there, he's already turned the two clans people. They come up there and they're playing their banjos, and I'm like, I'm already seeing the messages, and then they see Mary, and they're just like, well, she's in there, and they're like, she's family, and I was like,
and
family.
There goes on.
So, but when it all blows over, when it all starts going down, he's talking a good game, and he's not lying about the Irish heritage and the black heritage. He's not lying. Like those, they were the same routes. But he was just, but at the same, I'm like, but dude, you doing some stuff that
Man, I
can't rock
tear
with.
up no more. Please stop, bro.
Oh my God!
I'd
No.
like the crowd to note that Shoyo admitted to crying. Who are you?
I'm crying because it's that funny. Like my eyes are like probably red, bro.
When you
Like,
hear it, it's hilarious.
oh
But yeah,
God.
I keep forgetting because at first I thought he was basically just saying like, "Hey, you can either go with us or you can go with them. Either way, your life will be hell." I keep forgetting the Irish have their own whole history that somewhat kind of. I didn't get an info dump until the Queen kicked the bucket, so I was.
Amen.
I want to touch on something else in this film that has it. I'm surprised. I'm just now starting here. Wunmi Masako.
Amazing.
her
Mhm.
favorite person.
That's
I'm
a
so
gorgeous-
glad Coogler has shown a dark-skinned black woman, plus size woman.
My fan fiction dreams come true.
Not fan fiction, Lord. What the hell?
Listen,
Oh,
And
Lord.
no, wait.
Mm.
This is what I love about. So they're not. This is completely different. This is how you know the brothers are completely different. Stack's relationship with Mary is completely different than Smoke's with Annie. When he comes by there to Annie's, and he puts the flowers on the grave, and he said Papa's home and everything. He's on there in there talking to Annie. There isn't any hate, like there isn't any respite. You could tell that whatever happened to their child is what separated them, plus going to Chicago. But he didn't hesitate for a second in telling her that he loved her. And she didn't hesitate neither. And when she hit you with that line and that tongue, your body didn't forget me.
He did hesitate because he looked at her and said, he said, you really gonna make me say it? Do I really gotta say it? And she looked at him and he said, I love you. And
That's a bar though. Did your body forget me? God dang.
She wasn't finna play with the act. She was like, yeah, this
she
is,
said, use your words, motherfucker.
That's
Communication is key.
She yeah.
Words.
She knew
words
it.
have
She knew it,
purpose
but
and
she needs
meaning.
to hear it.
Which I can respect.
Yeah,
because
I put all the protections on you. You can be vulnerable in here. My whole thing is
That
just like,
part.
is there?
Like you
My
still
whole
got
thing
that
is just
bag
like,
on.
my thing is like, was there a door to close? Because them kids was like, what, 3 footsteps outside the house?
Them little nigglets went the fuck on. You better go your ass. Hello.
They
I'm just saying.
they bought their product and they left. They had to
Yeah,
go
I'm just
back to
saying,
the
but
mom.
like, I'm just saying they went down the street where you could probably still see down the road and in the door. Like, what they doing back there?
Did you forget? Your mama
Don't
sent
do
you in here
that.
for 1, 2, 3 things.
Don't do that.
What you looking back for? You got them. Bye. Deuces.
You are ruining the moment.
No,
Hey, look, I'm just
I
saying,
love that they showed that scene with them two. That showed like, yeah, it was the death of their child That's what I took away from it. It was the death of their child that broke them down.
Oh yeah.
You know, because he when they got to town, he came straight. He got the business stuff out of the way, but he was like, I got another stop I gotta make. It ain't because she can fry fish. It's just I know she can fry fish. I know she can do some other stuff. I know where I need to go.
I just need her to skin a snake real quick.
What do you have, Will? What do you have? What do you have?
Please. Go, please.
I don't know why we all just let this happen. Like Fury was like,
what happened?
I want to put my finger on something else, and then put a picture of Hunter B-15 up there.
Yeah, I did find the button.
Right.
You know what?
Hey.
Go ahead.
That bar, Annie drop. Your body ain't forget me. Listen, fold it like the butter in a croissant.
I'm telling you, boy.
Look, I went to the 10 a.m. screening of the movie, and that scene had me looking over like, as if somebody was sitting next to me, because I was like,
Did she just
say that?
there was probably 3 people in my theater, okay, but they was nowhere near me, and that scene had me. I was like, well,
I looked at my wife. I looked at my wife and did like this. That words to it every time.
So apparently in this movie theater, all the ladies leaned forward when they heard that.
The ladies leaned forward and the men leaned forward. They had a reason.
But because she basically pulled his card, because for like 30 minutes we watched him basically play like the gangster with decorum from old school days, and then she came here and just tore all of that down in the span of like 10 seconds.
She's like, I know who you are. You see, he never lost that with her.
Nobody's calling.
She gave him the hoodoo bag for protection, and like
you might be big dog out there in them streets, but when you come home,
that part.
Yeah. Know who you serve. Okay?
Know who you serve.
I'm blanking on the.
No, like honestly, I feel like you've had to at least see the still picture of this by now, Spartan. But if you haven't, just know that the face that man made in that, like before anything happens, but the face that he makes when she kind of says that is like okay, this is not porn at all. But like he made a face that was just like, I don't think I thought I was going to see Michael B. Jordan make that face with his mouth agape. I didn't think that I was going to see it. Like,
so good to know. Good to know.
Okay, yeah. So basically, out in the streets, you're smoke. In this house, your name is Elijah. Knock it off.
100%.
Correct.
Know what your mama named you.
Yeah, she
like,
did,
even
and I loved that for them.
We don't do nicknames.
I'm like, yeah, that's black love. That's black love.
But yeah, to that end of what Shoyo just said.
Really, Whoopty?
We don't do nicknames. What did she say? She said, don't get that smoke over here.
A little smut ain't hurt nobody.
Elijah.
But yeah, that
when she said his name, when she said his name,
we attend the same church. I can co-sign.
But that's kind of what I liked about their whole thing. Is like, it wasn't just, all right, let's find a reason to get her naked on camera. They at least did like a tasteful version of their whole.
I can appreciate that so much.
This was a very tasteful, nasty ass movie.
It twerked.
It really was. It really was.
Also about table being bent over, but
fully clothed hoism.
That's what I'm saying. Fully clothed. We got work to do, but like I still miss, and like very representative of them old school relationships. It's like,
100%.
We didn't break up. You were gone for 7 years, and I was hoping you'd come back. Some people did. Some people didn't. So I'm not sure.
No, because
sometimes
it was tasteful, easy. It was. I was like, tasteful? I would take my mama to see this movie and nothing.
You don't get that weird.
No.
Speaking of which, wait, hold on.
Tafari, tasteful.
Yeah, because Tafari went to see the movie with his mother.
And
were you feeling weird at that scene?
No, my dad sat between both of us, so
that's crazy.
He had the bubble. That was it. I go look. I can only imagine. I know if I'm watching a scene with my parents, it's still awkward as hell to me.
It ain't awkward for me.
That's-
I put
It's
my
not
parents
a.
in
It's
the
definitely
ring.
not an awkward moment. It's not because you. It's pull the penny to the side.
Oh my.
It wasn't an
Look.
awkward moment. It was so, but it was a beautiful. It was. What do you want to say? It was raw and raunchy in the
It was
most
simple.
tasteful way.
It was
Look,
very
you
simple.
just-
Like there was nothing crazy that happened. Like my thing was people were saying, "Oh, we got to see such and such get her black blown out." Me sitting here like, "Do y'all know what getting your black back blown out looks like?" Because that's not what we saw. Okay, it was nice. It did what it needed to do, but like
I knew that part.
it was not anything crazy. Like it was simple. It was done. It did what it needed to do. It showed what it needed to show. It evoked
What's the rating, Shoyo? What's the rating?
their rating.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely. I
on
mean,
a,
if
on
you
a 1 to 10 of backs blown out, what's the?
oh, it's given very much like 5. You know, it doesn't mean it wasn't
I would
good.
say
I'm with you on that.
I'm
Karen.
sure.
There's a
I
three.
can,
here's
I
the
can
bit-
give a 3. I can agree
Here's
with a 3. I tried to be nice.
No,
Okay?
no, that's
Here-
a three.
okay.
But I can give
Okay.
you a 3. There we go.
Here-
I
here's-
agree
here's
with
If there was
Here's
like a
the-
shoulder, a hand on a shoulder, in
That'd be
that
different.
scene, that's a
Exactly.
5. That's a 5.
It was very simple. It was simple. Okay. It was
Okay, how
loving
about-
as well as lusty. Christy is perfect.
Here's the better question. Do you prefer that or the bloodbath bang out from Lovecraft? Which one would you rather
Look,
see?
let me tell you, because
Oh my
what
God.
the other
Yeah. Remember, that's the last time we saw her do anything like that. Also, you're an unofficial scream queen. We love you.
That's true. Yes.
you know,
Also,
it
also
don't
what makes
matter.
what makes me think that.
Nah,
I think it's also her being here and being the juju person also makes me think Smoke is definitely supposed to be Majors before what happened.
No,
Not at all.
He said
It
that
was not.
he only ever
Not
had
a
Michael
thought.
in mind for this part. He said he
He
only ever had
nowhere
Michael, and he
near
wouldn't.
this.
I feel like that's the plan. I feel like that's the plan now.
Nah,
that all's
He
forgiven.
would have said that. He's not afraid to tell the truth.
no.
No, I know he's
speaking,
not.
He's speaking soon.
No, I know he's not, but I'm saying
He's
like
just
they don't need to
supposed
know
to-
everything.
The fact that they were twins really did something for the movie. I
Right.
really don't think that was and actually I know because he did say it. He said, "Nah, this was always supposed to be one. It was supposed to be twins." So the fact that it was Michael, I mean, because people throwing Majors all through this movie, and I think it's unfair to Michael. As
Yeah.
much as a person, for me, I don't really. I mean, I know Michael can act. I can't take that from him, but I've never been like, oh, I'm a Michael B. Jordan fan. He can act. But this movie definitely was given like, hey, I really enjoyed his role. He did a great job. And so for people to be throwing, I'd be like, I'm just sitting here like, just let Michael, like it was just Michael.
Yeah,
It
no
was
one's
just
taking
him.
anything away from Michael. It's just once we heard the movie was coming and saw that relationship building, and then that happened, the timing, fellow co-stars in it, and like similar stuff. At any point, if there was a role for him, and it's like, yeah, he's been in these shoes before, it would have fit him perfectly. No one's saying he would overshadow Michael,
know,
taking
I
anything.
don't think
from
it
him.
I don't
would
think so
have.
because if let's say that this thing never, like that whole incident with him never happened, Marvel would not let him do this fucking movie. They would not, and have him come back as he would never.
Think it
be
would've
able
too
to-
much?
They would never allow
Might
him.
have
to
been,
do
yeah,
that
might have been
movie.
too much. Might have been too much.
Okay. Moving
You
on.
think so?
Yeah, probably. It probably would have been. Moving
I feel
on.
like-
Because
Okay.
none
Miss-
of the other people that have done movies with Marvel have done anything
like
risky
raunchy. Or yeah, right,
at
right.
all.
But I mean, yeah, we got B15.
Except
Except B15.
Haley Steinfeld.
I'm
Yeah.
crying.
He's Sony. She's not really
Well,
Marvel.
yeah, I'm about to say that's Sony. That's not.
That's
But,
Sony.
And does it
Sony
count
don't
if
do
she's
that.
not
I'm
actually
about
on
that
screen?
character, though.
Also
That's my
that.
cousin.
She's not
But we
actually
got-
on screen either.
We got B15 in there though. Well, she's clearly going to be important.
Guys, she's Hawkeye.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
She is Hawkeye. She is Hawkeye. She's Kate Bishop.
No, she is Hawkeye. She's
she's also
Yeah.
she's also a napkin.
They
Yeah,
they will look at her differently when she shows up again as Hawkeye.
Yeah, in the history of movies, you usually don't get in trouble until after this type of stuff comes out.
I mean,
Uh,
she'll be fine.
Oh, yeah,
it is.
she'll-
Oh, she would be fine. I'm talking about our previous mentioned person. Like, usually
Oh.
don't get
I mean-
hate.
Gucci
The phone
lover.
does. the phone doesn't stop ringing until after they see your role, like Brandon T. Jackson after lottery ticket.
Lord. So Haley Steinfeld's role in here.
She did her job.
She
She
did.
did do it.
She did her job. And there's a line that she pulls
There's a couple
that I'm like, oh God.
Can I say it? Or are we not gonna say it?
No, go ahead. Because it was like you talking about
She said,
oh my.
you out in Chicago robbing trains, but you can't rob this pussy for a night? Or did she say coochie? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
I was like,
I said, okay. I mean, that's not my type of time.
Show
But
yo.
but it's a folding line. It's definitely a folding line.
Can you run that line back one more time?
Hey man, like cover her ears.
she said, Stack.
She's knocked out.
Right, she sleep.
Okay.
She said,
Stack.
Stack. She said, you can rob trains in Chicago all day and night, but you can't rob this pussy for a night because she's married. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
she's technically married.
No, not technically.
Yes, she's
No,
married. She's married.
Can I
But
be
she's
honest?
it's not a loving marriage. Is
and-
basically what I'm trying to say.
Folded.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Mayhem, you are correct. Once again, it's a
Immediately.
line that will fold the strongest person.
I think
I'm sorry.
for her situation, it's like I get it. I mean, she's straddling the line already, and then she's married to a white man, not on the hand of her decision. So, and we never get to see that man, which is great. But it's also just like it's like I give her a pass just because of the times and how she was already passing for a reason.
She was considered a mulatto. She was white passing because I think they said it was her grandfather her mother was half.
Right.
Yeah. So she was white passing for that time. That's
Right.
that was a lot of talk for that.
And they make her marry a white man.
Yeah. So it was Stack. That was man.
And he folded.
Yeah, he definitely folded.
I'm assuming he did.
Yeah, but see, in their relationship was different because he was like, I cannot be seen. I love you, but I cannot be seen with you because I will be dead.
Yeah, all it takes is one person in town to think you are what you ain't.
Right.
And that's my whole life gone.
Yeah.
And hers too.
But also, I mean, I can acknowledge. I mean, Stack also was scared. Like Stack didn't want no. I mean, he ran off in the same way. I'm not saying he was scared to be with her. I'm saying he was scared of the responsibility. In my opinion, that's what it felt like. He was scared.
It felt like he knew he would. I'm so sorry. It felt like he knew he was a hood nigga and was like,
100%.
"No, you are too delicate for this
100%.
shit. I don't want you to be in
Here's
this
that.
type of life."
That's the responsibility.
And that's what he said. That's what he said. He said, that's why I pretty much handed you off to whoever this dude is that she's supposed to be married to. He was like, he could give you the life I can't give you because you come with me. It's over for me. I was like, and not in a good way.
The ending crazier.
Quite.
Yeah.
White.
Because see, then it's accepted. By that time it gets accepted. It's been decades.
No, but not even
point.
that. It's just
she dragged him with her.
Yeah.
I mean, they have it's no reason at that point to not be together.
Well,
So
they can kill off anybody who threatens them. That's the way I took it.
Yeah, their whole relationship, the brothers got mirroring relationships. Just one is honest and the other one is playing like they don't like each other. But meanwhile, all the marriages in this movie felt like business transactions, or they got a mister waiting at home for
Not
purposes.
business. Not business transaction.
Come on.
I mean, it's
I'm saying outside.
it's in the
I'm saying
30s.
outside of the. That's what I'm saying. Outside the Asian couple, it's just like they say they got one that's almost like a status or like a husband you don't want to be with. But even Sammy's girl, I'm like, yo,
Pearline.
I'm
Yeah,
you
Pearline.
beat me to it
Mayhem
because
been
I was
waiting
about
to
to.
talk about this.
yeah. I'm like, Pearline kind of young and Sammy kind of young. Pearline
Ain't no kinda with Pearline. Ain't no kinda because that train scene, I was like, yo, wait a minute.
Because Pearline, the way she talked about her husband, I'm like, your husband is like Mister from Color Purple or something. It's like some old dude you got shipped off with. Because we don't see him the whole movie, but like neither one of those women speak about their husband positively.
Played by Jamie Lawson.
But it's also it's the 30s.
Gang, gang.
That's also
And
what I'm getting
if we're
at.
gonna
So-
be honest about what marriages look like in the 30s, and especially since we're talking about the South and Mississippi, and then
Yeah.
we see people in sharecropping, because we could talk about Cornbread's ass and his wife,
Mhm.
and so you see all the
Hey,
different types of
hey,
dynamics of marriage.
hey.
I mean, women couldn't have nothing still at that time.
And
That's what I'm
Perlene.
saying.
And I think I don't know. I think it was who was it, Spartan or Tafari, that realized who she was, because I kept trying to figure out who she was.
Yeah, they
Safari
put it in
did.
in the group
She's
chat.
the mayor from
of
Gotham.
Gotham.
And the Penguin and the Batman.
Hey, imagine.
Oh,
And
Somebody
Kira,
ran
I'm not
into
gonna
the
hold
club
you, Lady
acting like that.
Mandalore.
say what?
I'm not gonna hold you, Lady Mandalore.
What I do?
I think she might be a contender for the
Don't you
goddess.
don't relax.
No, I'm
Relax.
serious. She got a
Relax.
look. She's got an aesthetic.
No, relax.
But
That's She's
the
pretty.
new. She's new and up and coming. She's
No.
got the look. She's got an
Nah.
aesthetic.
No.
I'm not gonna knock it.
Storm needs to be a woman of a certain age,
If they're going
She's
young,
cute for like young Storm. Don't do this. Don't do this. Not
they're
right
not
now.
gonna. They're not gonna go. They're not gonna go with a matured.
Right.
No, when I say
If
lady
they-
of a certain age, I mean
Hey.
like 30.
Hey, she's not gonna be Storm. Let's
Well,
get
she's
to the most
27. So I
important
mean,
I mean,
Damn,
let's get to Sammy and Perlene, because this was
Oh, here
a
he
pivotal
go.
moment in when you go from boy to man. Like that was
I'm
an
crying.
exceptional
Gentlemen.
that made me laugh. I'm sorry.
Gentlemen.
That
That-
scene
hey.
made me laugh because he said, "Let me try something real quick." And
He said, "Let me
and
taste it."
Stack was out. Yeah, let me taste. And
No,
Stack was outside that door,
like a proud
and he
father.
heard it, and he heard it,
Everything-
and I laughed.
it's the
Every-
He was like,
specific
"My boy
fact-
found that button."
it's the specific fact that she tried to be a lady with her foolishness. Was like, hey, listen, I've been out here
Wait a
all
minute.
day. I walked over here. Let me go freshen up. He's just like, nah.
Where?
That's crazy work.
Nah,
Let
dude.
me do what I do.
He folded.
That
No,
was my-
because it was the whole subtle, like that whole scene was. I was like, yeah, okay.
I very
Oh,
much love- I love
like,
that
my
entire
man likes
thing.
tang, is what I'm saying. He likes tang. It's all right. Like little seasoning.
It was
man.
the slow fall back. I was like, look, you know,
Tasting Perlene's
they
pearl
did
in
the
club.
they did the whole thing.
again though, tastefully. It's not just a reason to strip people naked on camera.
I
so
mean,
both
but
I
it
love-
makes sense for the piece. I mean, they wasn't getting naked. I don't think they
I'm
really.
saying
it was
though,
like
but
pull
like
up
how,
the dress. That's it.
no, I know what I'm saying. I mean, we don't know how much further it went once the camera cut back.
Hey, Fury, put the photo back up real quick of her.
Oh no.
Explain something. to Spartan.
Everybody go to everybody in the corner.
I'm looking
Everybody
at
find
the
a
damn thing. I'm
Hey,
looking at
Spartan.
it, bro.
That center photo, that's the after. That's how he had
Yeah, yes, that's
the
that is the part where all the ladies will wish she was on stage performing and drinking and cutting up.
Bro,
Son.
y'all are way too excited.
No, it was. I saw a video today, and this girl on TikTok said, she said, if there's one thing that y'all should have learned from this fucking movie, she said, it's to eat that cat. And I ain't saying nothing else. And I said, let me turn this off.
Because you
said
see
it.
how she was cutting up after, because we didn't see how far it went. We just see them coming out the room later, and suddenly everybody's all performance ready and loose as a goose and cutting up a rug. And then I like how it built up, because that is like that's somewhat is what it's like growing up with like older male cousins and uncles. They be talking to you about nonsense. You're like,
They were having a good time, man. I'm
Like-
not gonna lie. They were
like-
having a blast.
I don't know if he meant the end credit scene or like their conversation in the car. I know he said one of those was improv, but like
Mhm.
when
that car scene was 1,000%
And
improv.
improv. And
I
he did
promise
amazing. You talk
you,
about
That
Delroy?
whole scene was improv.
You talking about
You talking about
you're talking
Delroy?
about
Licking the ice cream. Licking the
Yeah.
ice cream. I
Okay.
promise you.
well, because there's a scene that Delroy's talking about. He's like, well, the whole thing in the car was kind of improv, and I don't know if he was talking about himself.
when he was
or-
telling that
I
story.
feel like it was him when he was telling that story because
Okay, because I was like, he kind of like went. I
it
need to
was
hear it again.
perfect.
I missed some of the details because like I'm hearing it.
When
But
he's
you know,
telling
like-
the story about his friend that
Yeah.
was killed. basically in the car when they're on the way after they picked
Yeah.
up
Oh, you talking
him.
about Delroy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Because
I
remember,
wouldn't be
no,
surprised.
because that all happens in the same car. It's him, Slim, and it's
And
Smoke,
Sammy.
Slim, and Sammy, and they're all of that happens in one car ride. So I'm like, which part of that was improv? Because if it was that conversation, I'm like, yeah, that's like me in the car with my older cousins and uncles, and yeah, you're just like, all right, get out of my face. I know y'all just trying to be funny, but then when the moment arrives, you start thinking like, was anything they said true? So Sammy, meanwhile, Sammy, and then Sammy having that happen, the fact that Smoke is on the other side of the door, the fact that somebody else has to take over the door watch, and he's like, check out my little cousin, like he's having his proud father moment, and then Delroy when he's like, hey, go get Smoke. He's like, and then he's like, yeah, he's in the room. Oh, he kind of busy, huh? Like, it's all those little nuances happening back to back. I'm like, this is like a whole family reunion type of party. The one invited white friend, like
Look,
everything about that was just giving family vibes and just comfortable until shit gets crazy soon after.
right. So you want to talk about a breakout star, Miles Keaton.
He can sing. He got
First
such a perfect
acting
voice.
role, and he's actually been on tour with her since he was 16. And she told him, go try out for this role. He did not know how to play guitar. He just was a singer. And he got that role and was practicing 5 hours a day on this guitar.
Well, shit. Who better to learn how to play the goddamn guitar than from her?
Thank you. And let me tell you, that scene, and if you know the scene I'm talking about,
man, all the scenes that he was doing, playing and singing.
Look, let this show.
My dad.
Leave some meat on the bone for Spartan.
Yeah,
so he's playing this song.
Clutching my pearls the entire time. Go for it.
Look,
there's a scene. This scene he's playing in. That scene I just started. That was his big moment, right? And he's playing the song, and then all of a sudden you see the ancestors. You see hip hop dancers. You see crunk. You see twerking. You see Asian influence dancers. You start seeing Irish. It start all these cultures mixing, and you see DJs, and I'm like, next thing you know, the roof is on fire. The next thing you know, the barn is gone, and they are all out there dancing. And I'm like, this is so visual. I'm sitting in the theater, and I'm just like, Kugler, you did it again. You did it again.
I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know if this is a part of my brain that just reacts this way. I literally felt the heat on my face from that scene. And I thought I was having a moment like, what is this? Is this menopause? What's going on? Why is my face hot?
That's
were you in a 4D experience?
That's what I'm
saying.
I
was literally, I'm sitting there, I'm crying because of the shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then the barn is burning down. I'm like, why do I feel like it felt like that rolling fire type of situation, but it was just my face. Like everything else was fine. It was just my face.
That was a powerful scene stating how that music is so influential from so many cultures and to so many cultures.
Hi, Whale Watcher.
Stopping. Relax. Calm down.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
What?
So,
y'all, as much as y'all talk about us being chaotic on this like middle to bottom row, y'all have been having a time up here just in
it's not very often we get
y'all
on the platter.
Ain't nothing wrong with what he said.
Wow.
Nothing at all. I'm very grateful.
Are you saying?
So I want to ask
too, right? Like it's not just me.
Yeah,
that was fine.
So I want to ask our cinephile of the crew, because I know there were some definite scenes that popped in. What's happening, Nate?
What it is, how it do?
Mayhem. That scene. Talk to him.
That's the scene where essentially it was like I was almost like, I don't care what happens after this. This movie's getting 5. Because I legitimately, y'all seen the meme we're talking about, like when you lose in that Madden and then the person does this, they sit up close. That was me. I legitimately, as it was unfolding, I sat forward in my seat and was just locked in. I was like, yo, Coogler is a madman. Like, what? How do you? What makes this come to your brain? And then on top of the audacity to show off all of these different eras and different versions of Black excellence on screen this way, but also it's a one shot.
Yes.
Seamlessly goes from person to person, reveal to reveal, up until the fire and back down to everyone in the ashes. And I was like, I nigga, like I was like, I don't know if I'm capable of creating something that's like this scene is worth the price of admission. Like that's the scene there where I came back to the chat and I was like, yo, this movie is going to be the reason that we have future Black filmmakers. This scene alone, someone's going to be standing on a stage one day accepting an award and have to be like, yo, shout out to Ryan Coogler, because I was years old when I seen Sinners, and it changed the trajectory of my life. Like that scene right there, I don't know if I can be hyperbolic enough about it.
Someone is watching that scene and having their J. Cole at a Kanye concert moment.
That scene felt like church. That scene really felt
good.
Like
good church.
Yes.
Good church. Like
Good
you walked out of there like, I got the word. I feel good.
Good
Like,
church is a very
church in
good
the sense
asterisk
of community and coming together. Not like I'm running off the shit. I'm not a church person. But just in the sense of I'm not a church person. What can I say? I would go to that. I frequent that church on a regular basis. I love the cinema. To have that experience, that almost it's not out of body, but you know what I mean, out of body experience in a room full of people that I can connect with, not the white people. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I want to give not just Miles the credit for that scene, because good Lord, I want to give the credit to the cinematographer, Autumn Durald Arkapaw. First female to shoot a feature film on IMAX 70 millimeter. So already breaking ground. I want to give another shout out to Ludwig Göransson, who has teamed up with Coogler on several occasions, and the scores that this white boy puts out.
I mean, we ain't inviting nobody to the cookout, but we gonna feel bad about not letting you in.
Well, we will stand at the gate. We will have someone bring you out a plate. That's the best.
No, did you learn nothing from the movie?
I said outside.
You won't tell me he don't get a bite after.
Did you see what? Did you see what happened when?
I'm saying the same.
Put his hand outside.
I'm saying the same thing I said during that scene. You need to put him on the ground and slide it past the barrier. He can't come in, but he can accept it from the other side.
Yeah.
No, get one of them. What is those grabber thingies here, baby?
Thank you, Lizzie.
It's one of them things where you just like you give him several to-go plates. Like, no, you did all right. You did.
He can't come. He can't come in and get them, but just will deliver them to the door. You can just
and you gonna get the good pieces. Don't worry.
Nah.
Also,
you gonna get some extra mac and cheese. You getting that? This is good.
I'll leave something for you in the work fridge with your name on it. It'll be all right.
Also, Hilton with the. So you tell me none of them people at a fish fry took it to go play home after they all got kicked out?
So the only grace I give them for that is the fact that, I mean, we all know what happened during that time. And it's also the fact that Delroy did not tell them what they actually told them to do in the room. Delroy told them to go ahead and get on. Mm-hmm. But that's not what they told him to tell them when they were in the room.
That is
so
correct.
So when they left and everything, you know, that's also made me think about, dang, they all left when maybe they could have all stayed. But Delroy told them to, you know, to go on now, just get on. So it was like, ain't no time to get no plate. You finna get kicked out.
Look, that's the part where the old drunk kicks in. All right, he already wasn't supposed to be watching the damn dough. Like,
he's like, what kind of dough watching are you doing? He was not happy. We gotta talk about watching the door, because Omar, come on, man.
He did a great
Cornbread.
job.
He did a
I
fantastic
loved
job.
him as Cornbread. I
This
liked that he.
motherfucking kindness speech he gave. I was like, he is
Man.
pulling shit out of thin air.
I
We
didn't
all
need.
supposed to just be getting along.
No,
Once he was out there, we doing what we got to do. I'm like, Negro, the party is over.
no,
What do you-
because he paused. It was the pause. He was like, "Well, we all's friends, ain't we?"
Yeah.
Like
It was giving Candace Owens a little bit.
That's why Annie was like, "You been in and out this door all day. Why we got you can push
Exactly,
your
why
dick
we gotta
behind
let
me
you
and past
leave?
both of us? What's the problem?"
My whole thing was just like, so y'all, so we just gonna put the money in his hand. We can't just like.
Once again, Annie proven. Be careful. She said it. Be careful. And what happened?
Shout out to Annie for being like, no, don't talk
what
to him.
happened? Huh?
Don't talk to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
talk to me.
that's also why I appreciate like her being there because like they had a whole like
That part. I was like, you could have just went to the side or to the back. You didn't have to go all
here's
the
a
way in
better
the woods.
Better question: why did we have to see it from that angle for so long? Because after a while, after a
the
while,
sound had me crying.
After
It was the
for everybody.
pause and then the keep going.
No,
And
the
pause
sound
and the keep going.
the
Every
sound
time.
was
Oh,
funny.
yeah, it did. It was
The
because it's
sound
like,
was-
shh.
I was sitting there like, you've been at this door the whole time. What? How you been drinking this much?
The sound was funny. It was just like it was like awkward laugh. It was like awkward. It was funny laughter, and then it was just like, all right, man, like put it away. Like, can y'all switch this shot up, please? And then you kind of, I can't tell if it's the lighting or if you actually can see them in the bushes behind them, because you hear them come, but you never see like
there were like two.
You
two
can
eyes,
see
like,
like
over
a
his
few.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Over
they cut it so quick I couldn't tell.
No, they were
but-
waiting.
Oh no, I cause you could hear them wrestling around. But what was throwing me was
I never want to be attacked with my man's out. That's terrible.
that's another thing. Especially if
You know, he got to put it back in. What you mean?
No, apparently not.
Listen,
Chris,
I'm gonna speak for all the gentlemen on the panel real quick.
I agree with you.
If you scared and trying to put your drain away, that you might zip, slip, and get killed. That's a terrible way to go.
Yeah, you're not trying to die.
Frank and the Bean, the Frank
You're
and
not,
the Beans.
You're not trying to die with a half leaking bladder. Like
Look at Spurry.
Hey man, y'all, you don't know. You don't even
Welcome
feel
back.
death at that point because you came back to life.
Okay,
You know?
but in my cold body, the only thing that's warming me now is my own fluid you didn't let me finish with. So that's not fun.
Now you ain't even got to worry about peeing. You hive mind now. It don't even matter.
I mean, that's a good question though. That's a good question. If you die mid pee, does it finish or does it just evaporate? Like,
oh my god!
Now you have like she said it like you gang now.
Literally, they was all gang.
But like, I also did like that people like him did at least do like their own backstory for this movie because he's like, I found out, some of my family
he knew his actual background, like
100%.
His father and his grandfather were sharecroppers, so he
Yeah.
was just that one step away from knowing what that was about, which was exactly a cool thing.
And he said that's why he wanted the hat because that's like old photos of them. That's how they used to dress with the overalls, the sharecropper hat. So
yeah, he'll never get that lip service like he was looking for. That's what brought him onto the job in the first place.
Uh-oh.
He was like, yeah, if your wife knew how much money you was gonna come home with.
Oh right.
Nah, that shit was funny when he said, you got a good woman. I said, because she said, nigga, just go. She said he talk about dollars. We not talking about pennies. She said, get out of here. Like,
how much money we talking?
Right.
And even then, that was the most healthiest marriage I saw out the entire damn thing, outside of the Asian couple, because at least he was willing to fight for his wife.
The Asian couple, man.
He was at least willing to fight for his wife, and his wife was like, well, hold on, money's on the line. Take the job. You can maybe whoop his ass later if you want to.
Let's talk about the Asian couple. So it was crazy because they had two stores, one for the black community and one for the white community, right across from each other. They do everything else, and while they were in the black community, it wasn't until what's her name, Grace? What was her name?
Grace.
No, yeah, it was Grace. It was Grace. when her husband doesn't come back, I'm like, oh baby, no.
We'd been new once he
yeah.
stepped out.
Grace caused nationwide teeth sucking in unison.
It was. I'm like, Grace, that no, he gone, and it wasn't. And all she could think about was her daughter. Everything else took a back seat.
But okay,
Everything.
so I do like that perspective. And then also I know we kind of talked about the other perspective. You know, we seen the Asian TikToker who, you know, talked about that. But I also was recognizing the other perspective to that was it's not even just about her kid, but also like when, you know, he spoke in her
Self-preservation.
language, self-preservation for sure, but also to think about, which is why I said when Delroy told them to all leave, right?
Mhm.
You have all those many people that are now,
Out
and
there.
it's like to think that all of those people could absolutely go back to their loved ones
There he
instead of
is.
staying in
Brand.
Hey Navy, instead of staying in this central area to focus
Yeah.
on them. If any of them had left, the town would have been fucked
Yeah.
because they would not know that any of them were there. So it wouldn't have even just been about her daughter. It really would have been all of those people had people to go home to.
Mm-hmm.
If any of them left, it would have been over for the town, which I
will
think is
say,
an interesting perspective too.
and Christy is now security at the cookout. We just go leave it at that.
But no, that's,
No,
that's,
like,
you
and
definitely
that's
can't come to the cookout for
but
sure.
that's a good part from the music scene to there. Yes, that was church, but church has visitors for a reason. Like you don't bring because at the door they were never there. They were never part of the community because you got what is basically our argument with what religion was being taught with us, even though we're now free from the people that taught it from us technically, even though we're on opposite sides of the street. But then you got the music scene, which is actual church, to where even if the music, which is spiritual, does attract the wrong type of spiritual attention, we got a person for that. We got a whole girl who knows how to handle haints. Oh no, this ain't a haint, it's a vampire. I know what to do. Start cutting this, drink this, eat that. Like we had people for each of these things, regardless of where
What's
also
going on, Candy?
also our,
Yep. I started laughing when I saw that.
something had to move the movie along, but like at least it wasn't one
It
of us.
did. It did.
It was then. Was it eating the eating garlic scene was actually.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, don't let. I was like, don't.
No, because you talking about Miss Perline. I was like, what the fuck
Perline
did you
and
see that
Perline
bitch?
and
What
Delta
the fuck you
Slim
talking
were
about?
they were the worst ones because Perline was like, I don't like the way it tastes. And then
Talk about girl, he about to shoot you. If you don't
I'm
shoot that
saying.
thing,
You saw how fast he unloaded on the first one and still had bullets to spare. So
he was ready to shoot his own family. Girl, you don't eat
Yeah.
that fucking thing. Stop playing.
So when she finally got it down and it came down to Slim, who been drinking all day.
he started Harlem shaking like drinking.
I was like, what is happening? It's just
Also,
he was just like, they were so ready. And it was like, I'm like, come on, not Slim. I'm like, when did
Also-
they get Slim?
Also, let that music show. Let that whole music sequence show you our distaste for bad music comes from a spiritual place. So you upset us and the ancestors with your shit music. Just
Lord, it says Slim.
But
played
you know
too
what?
much.
To also when I think about the Grace's part, like what people were talking about, like for people that love vampire lore and watch vampire stuff like that, like a good point that some people made, which I didn't think about in the moment, but it also for the purpose of this conversation, like Tafari said, obviously we needed to get the movie along. We have so many different perspectives, but it also was just the fact that we know that Mary was already let in. The idea that they technically didn't need another invitation because Mary was already let in.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
because it
So
breaks
because you have to
the
be let
barrier.
in.
It broke the barrier.
I thought they had to be let in individually.
No,
I don't think that they don't because they're
it's in,
hive.
Well, no,
okay.
well, I think
Perfect
that's
example. Perfect example. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Once Angel was lit in, Spike and Darla and could all come in freely because that it broke the barrier.
Right. So I think that idea
I think there is a distinction in this when
They throw homeboy outside.
No, he ran outside.
No, they dragged him out.
No, not the
the
drunk.
Asian
The drunk.
chick's name. I forgot her name. I'm so sorry.
Grace.
Who said Grace?
Grace. She invited all of them. She gave carte
Yep.
blanche to everybody. She said, "Come in, motherfuckers." She
No, I
didn't-
get,
that
I,
wasn't a
I
singular
get
event.
that. I get that. But
Yeah.
what I'm
She
saying
said
based
once
upon-
Stack and Haley were already inside, they should have been able to come back at any time.
That's what I technically
In technical
based upon
terms.
technically based upon how vampires work.
I think,
which is
But
what I'm saying is just to add to a different perspective, the idea of I really do think because Remick he wanted Sammy, but it was also like he really wanted them willingly. He wanted to get them to give up, to give in. And it really was giving like this alternative perspective could very well be they were playing with them.
Oh, so join the cult or basically die.
That's what I was kind of getting, but I think they kind of established the rules with Homegirl when they threw the wrong person outside. Because when Stack
the same Negro they beat up for having loaded dice, then seen him drunk, thought he was dead.
Hey man,
it turns out he wasn't dead.
Remember when Stack was dead, she was like, "We need to get the body outside before it comes back," and she said that before.
Right.
So now when they saw, I think that was them kind of playing with the rules. You mentioned Shoyos. I think
that is also correct.
All those rules don't get applied until you turn. I think that's where you get around all that. You can come in and out as a human as much as you want to, but once your soul has been altered, the rules change.
Yeah, so but Mary had already she was let in.
She had died out there. That's not really Mary.
I know, but that's the point. She was let in.
Mary was let in.
That's the point. She was let in.
I think Mary had to wait on head vampire to basically because you send. I think we know he wanted
invited her in.
Yeah, Cornbread. He didn't know any better. He was just
he
like,
didn't. But it doesn't really matter who invited them. They could have got the random person to invite them in. As long as they let them in, they can come in.
So to your point about them playing with it, I think it was more so. Now that I'm under the wing of Boss Vampire, I'm not finna go make a charge if he don't, and especially since he seemed like he wanted them to submit, like you said. I think it was more so. Because we realized towards the end, her and Stack were kind of on their own tip anyway. So I think it was more his mission than hers, hence why she didn't lead the charge on it. She just started all the drama and then left.
Candy got a lot of theories that seem to make sense. She said her theory may possibly work had Remick been invited in because he was the leader of the Hive. That would have just negated everything else, and they just
that was also my thing with them running. I'm like, if you're born in the house, does that mean you have to leave and then re-enter? Because the first thing they did was get out of there.
I don't think he wanted to leave, but she threw the stuff on him, and of course.
I forgot.
He probably just was like, I'm finna go get to my people for a sec and get some clarity about everything.
I was like,
after he got thrown it on her.
When he was just hanging at the door, I'm like, you ain't got a little more of that in the jar to just splash in his face? Because, like...
I will say this. Grace at least had the presence of mind to take her husband out.
On behalf of everyone else. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I'm crying.
It's like, I guess she was like, ain't nobody gonna kill him but me. And I'm gonna go with him. Well, bye.
I mean, I'm like, yes, your child's an orphan, but like you have two sources of income she inherits. She'll be fine.
And not in that time. That shit don't matter.
Running back and forth across the street to work both stoves.
I mean,
right.
Look,
and I think there was significance in the fact that Grace was at the whites only, and her daughter was over there, but not only her daughter, but him. I think that was intentional to have her be the store clerk of the whites only, because when you think about position and looks, because that's the whole point of them even needing to have a posture of a all whites place, like the posturing of the mother being the clerk of that store and it not being her husband. I think that was intentional.
Yeah. So she says, Candy says, now for Mary to talk big trash about being able to beat up any bitch in the juke joint, but then run away from fighting when she had vamp powers, I call cap. Somebody lying about having hands.
I cannot.
I mean, they had guns, so
What you got, Navy?
I've been trying to get a word in edgewise. Y'all been
My
throwing
bad.
nouns and pronouns and verbs since I walked up in here.
I'm
My
crying.
bad.
Chris said, "Hey," and then I went, "Hey," and then all I heard was, "Yeah, Mary," and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so y'all, first of all,
is this the
slow
kind of
down.
language conversation, Reverend?
You know what? That's fine. I just came from the theater, literally walked into my
Oh, that's
house sat on this
crazy.
microphone because I got a fresh perspective. And let me tell you, everybody was right. I loved the symbolism all over the place, um, especially when he started playing in the middle of the joint, and then you see just ancestors, you see history just form right there on the floor, and that made my heart swell. And that just made me realize that this movie has so much depth to it. It is one of those conversation pieces that is not going to go away anytime soon. You could tell there was a lot of Jack in the Box and a lot of In-N-Out Burger and everything else eaten while they wrote this movie and put this together. Incredible.
Yeah, that scene. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen with that
Mhm.
scene.
Hey, look, if the
Because
fact
that is a really hard scene to ignore for so many reasons.
Just the symbolism and the history and the storytelling in that one scene. Good grief.
Cinematography.
Thank you. The cinematography,
The on the
costumes.
technical side alone, even if you
Yeah.
don't get the history, the
Mhm.
technical side was amazing.
Let's talk about the costumes. Because Auntie was at it again.
Yes, she was.
As per usual.
Yes, she
Ruth
was.
Carter.
Hey,
Thank
look.
you once again. Proving Haley Steinfeld said she couldn't wait to get fitted by Ruth Carter. she looked forward to it because
It's just the whole intricacies. Every layer had a meaning behind it as the movie kept going. And I'm not gonna lie, that last scene, because Lady Mandalore said, "You need to stay for the last scene." I felt that as soon as he sat down and started playing, I felt that.
It was good.
Before we get to that last scene, chaos ensues, everything goes down. But there's one other piece that a lot of people didn't really touch on.
This is where the anger reviews came from.
Yeah. So the brothers buy the meal. They bought it from a white guy, and they say, yeah, if anybody crossed this line, we taking them out. And that's when the white dudes say, ain't no clan no more.
Shit.
However, they were wrong.
Of course, the clan would say there's no
right,
clan.
because
There
he
was
was
still
it.
clan around. He was part of the clan. He was one of the leads.
Right.
And Smoke, who's been left alive, went to the trunk and got out their army gear because the brothers were in the military. They were in World War One.
Listen,
you talking about
the
that feeling? You know that feeling you got in Django when Jamie Foxx was winning that house and went buck wild nuts. Nobody was walking out of there, and we were like, yeah, that was me.
The theater erupted, but that was the very black ass moment that I was telling y'all about from my early screening. Was that you realize the entire movie he was prepared to just deal with that. He was already prepared to shoot shit from the beginning of the film. He just didn't know he was gonna need that many bullets. So throughout the entire vampire apocalypse, he is still thinking the entire film undertone. If I survive this, I still gotta shoot these crackers in the morning.
No, because he said when they bought it, he said, and we bet not see none of your motherfuckers around here, or we shooting y'all.
And then that was part of the vampire speech, though, was him trying to convince him to join because he's
y'all gonna die in the morning.
Yeah, when he told him that, he told him.
But see, my thing was okay. I did think like were they expecting all of them? Not I threw my phone. Oh my god!
Yeah, not like a grenade.
Were they expecting all of them to fall asleep at the joint? Because
I think they were trying to lock the door, lock them in, and
Possibly.
do
But
whatever.
when was
probably
they gonna
put them
do
in.
that at night? Because
It
they
prob-
didn't even try to come there at night.
They was either gonna send everyone home before sunrise or lock them in and be like, y'all stay here. We gotta handle some business outside. Because there was enough guns for Smoke and Stack to flank them like a true military.
But that doesn't
duo.
make because
Wait.
they never showed up. They never
Can
tried to
we-
show up at night.
Can we point out how there was blood on the floor when they bought the place?
That's
Yep.
what I'm
He
saying.
Already
asked.
done it
He
before.
said, "What happened to the people before?" And he just spit on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I was confused by it. I didn't fully understand the history of killing floors up until.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
so I don't know I don't know what the plan was, Shoyo, but I think their goal wasn't to get everybody, but just to take these black people's money and then ruin the building that they bought and just say
I think they were planning to kill them, but it was just like to think that they were gonna be there in the morning. I was like, now, like that, like what?
Whether they got one or whether they got 15, a lynching is a lynching. They were happy to.
Oh,
They were
100%.
They were happy to take black people's money and then kill the people they took the money from.
100%, because that's what made me mad. I said, imagine I just told you this shit. I gave you this bag of money and you still show up. That's what pissed me off.
But then and now you got two twins ex-military who know how to sit here and clearly set up a sniper point and was ready for it. So before we even knew the vampires was coming, they was ready for the skerfuffle in the AM.
Not the kerfuffle.
I have not heard that word.
Not a
kerfuffle.
That's not the skerfuffle. Oh no.
That's what I've been using to spoiler-free tell what happens in the beginning. I'm like, they get a little skerfuffle. You know, everybody.
I think for the blood purposes, like on the floor, I think it definitely represented, you know, the people that they killed there before, and also the fact that it was very obvious that the money that they got, like, not saying it was blood money, but it was definitely not good money. Like, like we know where their money came from, and it was kind of like pieced together throughout the you know, the film with the mobs and everything like that. But it's just like I think I mean there was a lot of foreshadowing in the movie. Because that was a piece.
Go ahead, man.
The tone to Shoyo's point, like I didn't even think about it, what you were saying about how they showed up in the morning expecting anybody to be there in the first place. But like as the scene unfolded, it made me think of the episode of Dave Chappelle when he shot the slave master, and everybody's like, "Oh," and he's like, "What? I'll shoot a slave master every episode if they let me." I was like, that's all I could think in my head. It's like, I don't know if I actually needed this scene as far as everything else that happened in the movie, but we shooting a bunch of Klansmen. This works.
That is
in 2025. United States.
That is the perfect win to a movie where we technically almost lost everybody. Like, and then what probably ended up being the story is that they found the Klansmen's bodies, but none of ours, and they probably just blamed it on them. Because I was expecting that.
But there's nobody to find. There's nobody to blame because nobody's around.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't see. I guess everyone turned to ash, but they left the Klan corpses there with smoke. So I was expecting old man Sammy to kind of give us that, like, yeah, they just told the story and said Klansmen killed everybody, but I still remember what happened. But that's fine. I know some people say the build-up for it felt like it was too long, but it wasn't. It was letting you know.
That's character. That's character
build up
building.
of what?
So that's the complaint. Some people have, like, oh, the first half was too long. It's like, no, it's showing you that these people are important. They're not just characters to kill off later. Everybody
problem with people.
Everybody had a part.
Those
are the ones who don't.
What
they're the
what
ones.
It takes to have a real story, plot, exposition.
Thank you.
Matters. Like,
here's the
you
thing.
talking about?
Most of these people with a TikTok attention span come into a movie theater and they swear up and down that everything's got to be explained within the first 30 minutes, and that's not the case. Nigga, the credits alone will take you about 5, and then you get the setting, which takes about 10. I don't understand it. That's like it. Don't start with y'all. Don't start.
Who is humming, bro?
That's why I threw him up front. I was like, nope, he got this word. He got this word.
Humming, bro.
Shut up while I lay down these vocals. Let him speak.
Crazy.
Every time you do it, I can't help but laugh. But it's true. I first sat in the movie and enjoyed myself because I knew everything, the who, what, why, where, when, and how were going to be placed in that first hour or so. And I was patient. But then what's funny is somebody behind me. Somebody, when we gonna get to the action? I want to say, nigga.
You in the wrong movie.
Well, I don't know what you. This ain't.
Somebody
Fast and
said
Furious.
that.
Yeah, someone said it behind me, and I said, "Oh, we got this Fast and Furious motherfucker."
This ain't even an action
Yeah.
film.
Here's the problem I have with the people that think like that. You're in the mall. If you've never seen a Ryan Coogler movie
Come on.
at all, like
Mhm.
you don't know he does character development in a storyline. Like
That part.
Shokwo said, the exposition. There's a reason in that's why by the end of this film, well, not the end, but when we get to that climactic scene and Smoke taking out the clan, and he takes a bullet, and then he sits down and he's trying to roll that cigarette. Mind you, that's normally Stack's job,
Mhm.
and he's shaking, and he's thinking about all these people that came to help put this thing together. And then he just he crumbles it up, snatches that protection bag off, and then that's when he sees Annie with their baby. Any other film where your main characters
where my
die,
mom.
yeah, any other film where your main characters die and you're just kind of like, you're just like, man, that's kind of messed up. This was not that feeling. You're just like, this is how you tell that story. This is how you make these people.
That was a payoff.
Yeah, I say because like movies
Come
where
on, Elijah.
movies where everybody gets got, I usually can't watch more than once. Like I think Miracle of St. Anna is a beautiful film, but I can't stand the fact that I know like none of them brothers made it out of there. Except and the only one that made it, I think, was one person and the little boy. But like this movie where like they at least did it in a good way to make you care about everyone, not just I liked him. I thought he had more lines. Nope. Like they built it up, and I was like, "Come on, Smoke, get up, you'll be fine." Once they showed the baby, I was like,
Yep.
Especially after what she said, when Annie told him earlier,
She
was using them bones, and she said, "I'm not gonna make
I got
this."
somebody waiting for me on the other side. You should join us. Put that. She said, "Don't get no smoke out on this though."
But to another point in that moment or in those tones, we don't often get somebody that dies and they're at peace. Like
that's what it was. He was okay with it because he at least got Sammy, who was they all basically talked about like the future out of there. And even when he was talking to Sammy, he was like, "I want to go on the road." No, you're gonna take your ass over there with them older people who know how to act right and will treat you right. Don't like Stack is cool, but he hard headed. You need to go over there. So like again, I repeat, gangsters had decorum back then. Like you didn't involve them in your nonsense. You're like, hey, we live this life because we have to. You don't need to. You need to go over there and get your act right.
And that's the thing. Stack was telling Sammy, you need to take that and you need to go out there in the world. Like, if he didn't do anything else right, I guess you could say, he told that. And Sammy's daddy, played by Saul Williams. It wasn't that Sammy didn't want to be in the church. It's just Sammy's daddy wanted to be a preacher. He's like, God didn't make me to be a preacher. He made me to be a singer.
Sometimes your higher calling is not to be in a town in a house of God. Sometimes your higher calling is to affect change.
He got a gift.
I mean, there was also sharecroppers. I mean, to be honest, nobody wanted to be a sharecropper. So it's just like he had an opportunity, or rather, not even he didn't really have an opportunity, but he had a gift that he decided, I am getting away from this regardless, which in itself, I was like, that could have potentially been problematic for his family because they were sharecroppers. So him leaving, it's not like we know that he technically could leave. He just decided, I'm leaving. Because I know that this is
the whole song. I'm gonna look.
He got a free
little
car.
Light of mine. Yeah, this little light of mine and everything. That was him saying, God gave me this gift. I'm going to use it. And here's another thing. That scene between him and Remick in the lake.
I thought the water was going to turn to holy. I thought it was going to turn to a holy water lake and call it a day. I wasn't expecting the
because he started praying, and I'm like, is this where he blesses the water? But then Remick started repeating the line. He says,
Because everybody knows the Lord's Prayer.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
say-
know that. I didn't know the
Word, bar
Irish.
for bar.
I
He
didn't know
said-
the Irish went through their own religious forcefulness in their
Yes,
own.
they did.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very heavily.
That's why he was saying it throughout the film. He was like, Sammy, we're the same. We've come, our backgrounds is generally the same. People forced themselves on us and took our land, took our blood, took our. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, but
And you
then-
notice in that scene, the megalomania took over because as he's talking, and he dunking him underneath the water. I'm going, you getting a little bit too headstrong in your victory. You think you gonna win, and then when when Sammy
I
came
think that
up,
was all very like Chris. I think it had a lot of like religious
Oh, yeah.
symbolism in that whole scene because yes, the dipping in the water, the reciting of the
baptism.
Lord's
Mhm.
Prayer, yeah, the baptism, but also the fact that you've got this vampire, the devil, quote unquote, and it used to be an angel. They know what you
They
are
know.
saying.
Mhm.
Like, it's not to say that this cannot protect you, but it is to say that your enemy also knows the same things that you are reciting, bro.
Yeah, because these words were taught to both of us by different enemies who took everything from us.
So,
but they
and
tricked
the
us into
only
feeling happy.
thing that was able to help him out of that was the guitar.
And that was such a dope thing because by the time this movie has gotten so crazy, we don't forgot that silver is even a thing that hurts vampires.
Yeah.
Until this dude, I thought
when he does it, and I'm like, oh, that piece was silver.
I never forgot.
I just thought it was a cool looking guitar. I ain't think
I looked at
about
the
it
thing.
being
I said,
silver.
that guitar had way too much symbolism behind it. I
Yeah.
said that thing is going to have a significance later. And when he hit it with that guitar, I went silver in the well. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna like take the rest of the guitar and hit him with the stake, but then when Smoke shows up, I'm like, so how did you? Also, the whole he feels everyone's pain that was kind of confusing because it seemed
the Gestalt
he
mind
takes everything from them.
Well,
So
it seemed like-
everything from them, he want like
In
from
most
the scene
vampire-
with the from When It Begins with all the fire and everything, and he says, I want their stories, I want their songs.
No,
Or,
I know
Yeah.
he feels it, but it's like it feels like it was random. And sometimes I'm like other people get knocked upside the head and everyone's moving just fine, but then one person gets hurt and suddenly everyone it just
because it's more like for Annie, like someone mentioned in the chat, like they were all sad. And my perspective of that was Annie had so much cultural and spiritual knowledge. Them losing her, not her not being able to turn, which is why she was very adamant on you need to kill me.
Yeah, thank you, East. I was thinking the same thing. The Choctaw in the beginning. I'm sitting there going, where were you niggas at?
That's another
We learned when we let y'all on the shore. This is your problem now.
Yeah.
This is yours.
That's all like I said, all they had to do was see that robe, and that woman was like, you know what?
Yeah, but with the other cultures in this film, he was on the run from them taking a risk in broad daylight, which means they did something. They put the hurt on him so bad he was willing to risk it with like his biggest enemy, which was the sun, because he's there bloody, burnt, and like one eye swollen shut.
He
He
kind of realized how dumb the people were too. Talking about my wife is hurting me. I'm terrible. I'm sitting there going, if y'all believe this, you deserve everything you get.
No, but I mean they were racist.
And then the native have their own methods of dealing with this and detecting it. So clearly, they knew what was up at some point and probably took out whoever he brought with him over there.
Yeah.
But then when they get to Sammy and them, it's like they try to relate through music, doesn't work. Then they try to relate through their hive mind. So like I got the hive mind set. Like they were all sad. Homegirl didn't get to turn, and he honored her wishes. It was just like the pain thing seemed a little flip floppy. But when he hit him with the silver, then Smoke sneak past everybody. That's when I'm like, all right, that makes sense. Like the head vampire, cool. It felt like it was inconsistent with the fodder. And then Slim going out like a real G. We appreciate you, Bill.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Oh, shout out to Delroy Lindo. He did go out like a G.
I do appreciate
he's like, I know I'm not gonna make it out of this one, but I'm not gonna let my people go down. I'm gonna make sure I take some of this heat off.
Slim and Sammy very much gave me Sam and Isaiah because the way he's still feeling, we call it church hurt, that church hurt about his music. And he was like, nah, this wasn't forced on us like that religion. This has been with us since before we got here. So he was trying to basically telling Sammy to play his heart out, and sure enough, he did.
Piercing the veil.
Mm-hmm.
So now we fast forward to what was it, 92? It was
Something
Yeah,
like that.
1992.
yeah, 92, and we're in the club Perlene's, and that's Buddy Guy that's playing actual blues player Buddy Guy. He's playing older Sammy, and he's doing his thing, playing a set, and after set is over, club is closing down. Bodyguard says, "Hey, Sammy, there's people at the door that want to see you. Some fans. They say they want to see you. Bring me in. Who is it? Stack and Mary in a Coogee sweater."
Right, yo.
That's like very 90s. Very
The
90s.
90s haircut and all.
The step and everything. And that's when you realize, oh, Smoke couldn't kill his brother, because that moment where they were facing off, he had him dead. Sammy had him, not Sammy, Smoke had him dead to rights, had Stack dead to rights. And he said, I just been protecting you all my life. He's like, I just tried to protect you all my life. And he says, you did. And that's when you find out that Smoke made Stack promise, don't touch Sammy, because that's their cousin. He said, don't touch him. I don't care about nothing else. Just don't touch him. He has a chance. And he kept that promise. And he said, I just came in. He's talking about, that electric guitar stuff you play. That's cool. But I like the real stuff. He's like, just play me the real stuff. And he plays it for him. They hug, because I was a little concerned. I'm like,
hey, man,
you about to renege on this promise?
I was nervous.
About to renege on this promise?
He
But
said, I ain't
does
got that much life left.
Yeah, he gives him that big sniff. He's like, you ain't got much longer. And Sammy says, nah, I'm tired of this place. I'm like, brother, I feel you.
That whole ending, that's where my mom lost it. That speech he gave at the end, where he was just like,
oh, the freedom speech.
Yeah.
That was, he said, Sammy says, I wake once or twice a week, I wake up paralyzed in fear. But then I think about that day, and it was the best day of my life. Not the night, but it was the best
the sun
day.
went down.
Yeah. And he said, how was it for you? And Stack says it was. He was like, I got to see my brother again. I got to see the sun again. And he said for a few hours, we were free. And I'm like, symbolism.
Very.
Damn.
That's what got my mom. I missed the second scene because me and King Lion, we had to rush out past everybody trying to get like footage. And then I heard talking. I'm like, are they still going?
Yeah.
Crazy work.
It was a young Sammy playing I'm Gonna Lit a Sign.
Okay.
In a blues fashion, but he was in the church.
Okay.
So yeah. So it was the movie. 10 out of 10.
I just want to point out, because I don't think there are too many people that have talked about this yet. They only had 4 months to shoot this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
They shot on really hot days and everything.
April to July. That if he had a year to shoot this movie, what would we have gotten?
Hey, look, go ahead and just put the entire director's cut on the DVD for me. Play out. I'll watch all 3.5 hours. That is the mind of he's from Oakland, right?
He's from the Bay Area. I can't remember.
Yeah. That is the mind. That is the mind of a cool California native. I appreciate it. And he's been talking like a true California native. Look, this man ain't said the name right in one interview. It's Shinners you going to see, not Sinners, and I appreciate it.
It's Shinners, yeah.
Real quick before we get out of here, quick round to this. This is probably our longest episode yet,
yes.
But this was one of the best movies this year. So
Exactly.
we were giving it its time. There was no rushing this.
This was a cultural event.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it still is.
Oh God. Go see it again.
It is
whether it's the 70 millimeter version in the theaters, whether it's IMAX, go see it again. I'm trying to go see it tomorrow. If I don't, I'm going on Friday or Saturday. But go see it. Go show support. This movie was
It was 12 out of
symbolism
10.
at its finest. I want to read Lainey, I want you to give your review real quick, your rating, I should say.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, my heart. I'm gonna say it like I said on YouTube on my channel. My heart says 10 out of 10. The horror person says 9.5, so I gave it a 9.75. But it really is. It really is. But I just wanted a little more vampires. I just want to. I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. That's how I feel. But it really is a great.
Oh my gosh.
Lady Mandalore.
1,000 out of 10. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm gonna go see it again. I am very proud to say that the IMAX theater. Let me actually take a quick peek to see how much the ticket prices are, because I can't remember. Yeah,
you
it's
got the-
$32.68
Jesus
to see that
Christ.
movie.
Oh yeah, you got the.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It is for tomorrow's showings. It is sold out. It is at 90%
I know that's right.
capacity.
Oh yeah,
And at least
Do you get to
3 out
meet
of the
Michael
4
B.
theaters.
Jordan afterwards?
you get a film reel.
You do this
Yes,
tomorrow.
yes.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, you get a piece of the IMAX 70mm film when you go in there for as long as it lasts. I don't know how much fucking film that is, but that sounds like a lot of goddamn film.
Yeah.
I might have to leave my mother.
We have
Look,
one.
sacrifices will be made. I'm telling you now.
She got the 70mm experience. I have one in Dallas. I'm gonna try to make it.
So, Shokwo, what was your rating for this one?
Yeah, Shoko, what is your
Oh,
mind
my
you, everyone. Shokwo don't like much of anything.
I like a lot of
I'm kidding.
I definitely think I'm gonna have to agree with Lainey and give it like a 9.5. But it's amazing.
Hater.
Yes.
That's not a hater. It's
I'm not
amazing.
hating.
It doesn't take away
Okay,
from it.
if I wasn't thinking
All
about
right. Give me your rating.
10 out of 10. Go support the movie. There's a no bootleg embargo. Get your ass out the seats and go watch the damn
I know
thing.
that's right.
Thank you.
I know
Thank
that's
If
right.
you want to see it at home, you got like 3 months, buddy. Warner Brothers needs money. Please. We didn't forget. Y'all still broke. Please, for the love of God, go buy tickets. Tell your friends. Take the scaredy cats if they need a handheld. The Blu-ray and the Steelbook is already out for pre-order. So if you
It
can,
is.
please,
It's
for the
already
love
on
of
the
God.
docket.
I think
Already
they've
on the
already
docket.
had to restock it like once, I think. Also, please have your pitchforks ready because now that you actually have to watch the movies to vote, every category it loses, we know is a snub.
Mayhem.
Oh, damn.
I'm really glad you got in on this one because you are our cinephile of the crew, and your opinion really matters. Because when I seen that scene in the barn, I'm like, he gonna love this. He gonna love this.
Yeah. I guess to some of the people's concerns that we've expressed over the course of the evening, I get how people can say they felt like it was 2 movies kind of stitched together. And I'll say in real time, I was like, I don't know if I need this piece with the Tommy gun at the end. However, caveats always exist. Caveat being you get to mow down some KKKs for I don't need a reason. Do it, put it in your film, love it. The barn scene, that's 1,000 out of 10 in and of itself. That paints over everything else that could have possibly happened in the film. And yeah, man, some well clothed, well choreographed hoism. I don't know. I don't know that there is a movie that compares in recent memory whatsoever. It is an experience. You need to go out and see it on the biggest screen possible.
Yes.
I know that's right.
What you got, Kara? You had another note?
Absolutely should see it.
I do. For the
Hoism?
people that are on some hoe shit.
Navy.
Oh, wait a minute.
Are you saying Navy from some ho shit?
I'm crying.
That was a shady cut.
It was very quickly. You don't actually have to sit in the theater in order to get this thing some money. go get the bootleg, fine, but give the $20 to the theater so that these people can make their money. That's all I'm saying. Okay, bye.
What my second in command say? She's not lying. Navy.
Oh, hi. Hey, what's going on, y'all? This was definitely 15 out of 10. It was well worth it. This movie, if you missed this movie, that's your fault. Okay. If you are deciding if you want to go see this movie, it is still your fault for not getting up off your ass and supporting this movie. Okay. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Christy, for bringing this up, because this deal that he made, it's shaking up the tofu people. I'm telling you that right now.
They mad.
The final edit.
Share the
He
box
sought,
office.
so here's his deal. He sought $90 million for the movie with a few string attached. He needed to retain control of the film's final cut, receive a percentage of the box office gross from the beginning, film's theatrical run, rather than waiting for a cut after it became profitable, which is most common anyway. He also insisted that the ownership of the film would revert to him after 25 years. He just told WB, "It's mine."
The funny part about that 25,
and he said the reason why he did that was this film. This film was about ownership.
And the fact
I
that
said,
the
you know
revolutionary
what?
for 25 years,
Which
25
means
years.
you got to talk to him.
And
You got to talk to him.
I forget the gentleman.
Distribution streams.
I forget the gentleman's name that actually did the deal, but I saw an article about him. He said, "I heard the pitch for what this movie was. I made my next move my best move. Like y'all think this is a crazy deal? I think it's crazy to let this walk and be at somebody else's studio.
No, because that's what happened.
He said he was going to walk it, march it somewhere else. Smart move. Thank you, Kugler. And it's going to shake up everything from ownership to black directors and filmmakers going forward. It's about to
Yesterday's price.
This is
I will say this for all those that are, because again, I'm the only one in the group that hasn't gone seen it yet, because sickness in the family, but it's all good. Please check out a lot of other people's posts about this movie, including Navy and Tafari and Kira's, because they all pointed out certain literature books that are all tied to this, that can be tied or inspired by this movie. So,
and he paid homage to other films that were influenced. Somebody tried to say this is nothing more than Dusk Till Dawn. He didn't pay. Yes, he did. He said it out his mouth.
Yeah, that dude's dusty, curly-headed ass can shut up. Okay,
he said it out his mouth in an interview that Dusk Till Dawn was one of the. There were a lot of vampire films that were influences.
That'll go play.
There is nothing that you can tell me. I don't care what nobody say. There's nothing that you can tell me that this movie mimics. There are a lot of things that people mimic these days, and it's like, okay, originality is kind of like far-fetched. You can't be original as much. There is not another movie that I could say, oh, I thought of when I thought of Sinners because it was like that movie. He didn't rip off nobody. That's a complete lie.
Hold on, Chrissy, thank you. He said he partnered with one of the oldest theaters owned by Allies in Oakland to give it the supreme format, and all seats are $6.
He gives love back to his
city.
Yeah,
thank you.
Hey man, Cali people gonna love their Cali people.
I was gonna say, we did the same thing. I was gonna say, didn't we do the same thing with Black Panther too?
Yes, he did.
It did.
Okay.
I was gonna say the same thing.
If you want something
He did it for all of his movies. I think he's done it since Fruitvale Station.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fruitvale was right there
He
too.
did it for Black Panther.
And now you see what his support, what support looks like.
It is a win for the entire community and the culture. Minus Shamik Moore. Sorry, bro. If you want something unrelated but like adjacent, Place Out the Midnight. Because the second that girl said "Haint," I was like, oh shit, we are in this realm.
Playing South at Midnight right after seeing that movie, because I hadn't started playing it until after I saw the movie, was perfect.
So this is
also, please check out
this movie.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say this movie is a 10 out of 10. I wrote an article for it. Check it out on blerdseyeview.org. Check out everybody's post. Like Barton said, well, now go ahead. What you say?
I was gonna say about South of Midnight. Check out Tafari and Kira's and Laney. I think Laney's still going through it. Kira and I know Tafari wrapped theirs up. But yep, check it out because that game. And forgive me, I'm brain dead right now. The company behind the game really deserves.
Compulsion Games.
Compulsion Games.
Compulsion Games.
Ahmed Best.
Thank y'all for the free copyright free soundtrack I can now use. By the way, that background music is getting borrowed a lot
because that soundtrack will have you like oof. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's some scenes in that game where I'm like ooh. I gotta call Dad. I gotta call Mom for a second.
So yeah, it's a great day for Black culture, which is every day for me. But please go out, see this film, show your support. Go ahead, Lady Mandalore.
Sorry. Sinners officially has the second best Monday for an R-rated horror movie at the box office.
Let's go.
It beat out the recent iteration of it.
Now look how long that took.
It's only been out what?
That's crazy.
It's only been out a week.
Barely.
A week. No, not even a week.
No, not a week.
It's not even like my Monday showing was an early invite only showing. I don't even know if we counted technically.
Less than a week.
Last Thursday on Thursday.
Also, whoever's black ass decision was to drop on Easter weekend. I know y'all had to hear some sermons yesterday, boy. I'm sorry, on Sunday. I know y'all had some Easter Sunday.
I'm gonna hear. Let me. Mrs. Fury actually said, "We gonna see Sinners and it's Easter weekend." I said, "Honey, it's not like that. Stop. Don't do that."
Hey man, look, y'all dropped a whole animated film about Jesus and it still lost.
So
because did you look at the movie?
It's terrible.
Do you know how many saw that movie?
Geographically inaccurate Jesus. That's
you
what
had pastors and preachers at that movie theater just the same. So I don't even want to hear it.
Oh, they had to do homework for the study, and I'm trying to take it that God.
But no, all around from production, behind the camera, in front of the camera, costume design, that cinematography is a beast. That woman, Autumn, has worked on Loki, and she's worked on some other projects that we know about. Fantastic job to everybody. To the Kuglers, Ryan and Zinzi, who is also a producer. You can't get much better. If you're looking for really good storytelling from a different, if Spike Lee even said this is a different type of horror genre. This is different.
And the cosigns after cosigns from Jamie Foxx to Pedro Pascal to Ben Stiller calling people out.
Right. You got Blue Steel coming out.
He said, "How was 60 million a bad opening? It's not. They just hating."
And then Pedro was channeling his inner Mandalorian. Just go watch the effing movie. It's like, go see the effing movie.
Joel died to go see the movie. I'm telling you, this man.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Y'all would know Ben Stiller was down if y'all watched Severance.
No, I'm crying. No,
Ben's been down for a minute.
Sir, I just got Apple TV. Give a brother a second.
So, check us out Thursday. We are live Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, YouTube and Twitch. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. A lot of people tuned in for this one. I didn't know if they would because it's so soon. We normally don't spoil a movie this soon, but this had to be talked about. This had to be discussed. And I'm glad we did it. And this is our longest episode yet. We're going on 3 hours. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Check us out Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, live, YouTube, Twitch, clips Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Check out this entire crew to all their respective places. I know Lady Mandalore did her run Sunday on it. She's like, I am not waiting.
I kept it as spoiler free as I could for Navy's sake, but
and trust me, she did a wonderful job.
But tonight, like,
why you sound like that?
When they said when Spartan said, I didn't get to see it yet, and I'm like,
no,
he won't mind. I know Spartan, he won't mind. It's because I know he'll go see it. It's like
pretty much.
So
I
this
just wait.
is one. This is definitely one for the books.
Mhm.
We will see you guys Thursday with a special guest. Ain't no telling what else we're gonna be talking about. Until then, we will see you guys soon. Go show your support. Drop like, subscribe, drop little dimes in there, whatever. We will see you guys Thursday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kugler. Thank you to the amazing team over at Centers. Thank you to Kugler's lawyer and agent
That
for running that game.
The lawyer, especially.
They ran that game. Thank you
Hide
to
your money. There's
WB.
poor people around.
Don't give me
Oh
baby
my
get another
goodness.
clip. We will see you guys
If I come
Thursday.
over, I will take it.
Yeah.
See
You
you
have to
guys.
be invited in first, baby.
Oh,
Crazy.
Bye.
Golly.